The S&P 500 closed above 7,600 for the first time ever today. The Nasdaq hit 27,086. The Dow held 51,000. But the real action started after the bell. Three companies reported tonight. Hewlett Packard Enterprise crushed every number. Revenue of $10.68 billion demolished the $9.78 billion estimate. EPS of 79 cents annihilated the 54-cent consensus. The stock surged 28% after hours. Credo Technology beat as well, with guidance confirming AI connectivity is scaling fast. And Science Applications International delivered inline numbers with a defense backlog that matters more than ever. Let me break down each report and what it means for the rest of this week. I am Daniel Reed. This is Market Lens. Start with HPE because it rewrites the AI infrastructure narrative. Revenue of $10.68 billion, up 40% year over year, the highest quarterly revenue in company history. Gross margin hit 36.5%, up 810 basis points. Free cash flow was the highest ever for a second quarter. CEO Antonio Neri said HPE is now 2 years ahead of its fiscal 2028 long-term plan. The server business grew 55%. Networking, including Juniper, grew 72%. Intelligent Edge grew 18%. High-performance computing and AI grew 42%. Every segment accelerated. Juniper synergies are running ahead of schedule. HPE raised full-year guidance and introduced a fiscal 2027 growth framework. The stock closed at 47.37, up 10% on anticipation. After hours, it hit 60.59, a 28% surge. That is roughly $18 billion in added market cap in one session. Last week, Dell surged 33% on AI server revenue of $16.1 billion and a $51 billion backlog. The question was whether Dell was company-specific or a broad AI wave. HPE just answered that question. It is a wave. Revenue up 40%, networking up 72%, margins expanding, guidance raised. The AI infrastructure build-out is accelerating. The read-through for the week is direct. Palo Alto Networks tomorrow. Broadcom and CrowdStrike Wednesday. If this theme holds, this could be the most consequential earnings week of the year. Now Credo Technology. Smaller company, equally important signal. Credo makes the connectivity chips that link NVIDIA GPUs inside AI data centers. Revenue came in at $432 million, beating the $425 million estimate. EPS of 1.02 beat the 79-cent consensus by 29%. The headline is the guidance. Next quarter revenue guided to $460 million at the midpoint, above $447 million consensus. That is 46% year-over-year growth. CEO Bill Brennan said demand for AI connectivity is accelerating across hyperscale and enterprise customers. The stock is up 145% year-to-date. The after-hours move was muted relative to HPE. Expectations were already high, but the fundamental signal is clear. The connectivity layer is scaling as fast as the compute layer. Credo, Marvell, and Broadcom are all seeing the same demand. That is a bullish setup for Broadcom on Wednesday. Science Applications International reported before the open. Inline quarter. EPS of 2.28, revenue of $1.82 billion, stock up 0.5%. This is not a headline beat, but the context matters. SAIC provides IT services to the Department of Defense and Intelligence community. Their backlog is $18 billion, roughly 3 years of revenue. The U.S. defense budget is projected at $1 trillion for fiscal 2027. Command and control, cybersecurity, and AI-enabled warfare spending is accelerating. Tonight, Brent crude closed above $104. The Iran deal is not signed. An oil tanker was hit in the Strait of Hormuz. Israel crossed the Litani into Lebanon. In that environment, defense IT spending is not discretionary. SAIC at 12 times earnings with $18 billion in backlog is a structurally interesting portfolio hedge for the second half of 2026. 3 reports tonight, 3 data points. First, AI infrastructure is accelerating, not peaking. HPE at 40% revenue growth, Credo at 46% guided growth, consistent with Dell at 33% and Marvell at 35%. The CapEx cycle in AI data centers is re-accelerating. The read-through for Tuesday is Palo Alto Networks. Cybersecurity is the next layer of the AI stack. For Wednesday, Broadcom and CrowdStrike. Broadcom expected to report $22 billion in revenue, up 47%, with AI semiconductor revenue of $10.7 billion. The options market is pricing a $150 billion implied swing. Second, the defense trade is underappreciated. SAIC at 12 times earnings with a $1 trillion defense budget tailwind. Third, the macro environment is tightening. The 10-year yield at 4.58%, up 14 basis points from Friday. Brent at $104 is a tax on global growth. The VIX at 16 is not pricing any of this risk. This is the central tension. Earnings beating at record rates while financial conditions tighten. Here are the takeaways. 1. HPE confirms the AI wave is broad. Look for follow-through in PANW, AVGO, and CRWD this week. 2. Credo's guidance supports the connectivity trade. Broadcom on Wednesday is the direct beneficiary. 3. Oil at 104 and the 10-year at 4.58 are the risks nobody is talking about. If Brent stays above 100 through Friday's jobs report, expect multiple compression. 4. The S&P at 7,600 with the VIX at 16 is complacent. 9-week winning streaks are historically rare. The trend is your friend until it is not. HPE proved the earnings engine is firing, but the macro engine is sputtering. That divergence cannot last forever. Keep your data sharp and your logic sharper. I am Daniel Reed. This has been Market Lens.